zoomer inside.
Well guys, this tutorial provides a special thing. At the end there will be a kind of prize contest. You have to look at these two drawings, one on the left and one on the right. The one on the right, I warn you already, that is what we are going to make together, and you have to find the greatest number of differences. Among the two artifacts, the one with the highest number of differences will win. This artifact, which I emphasize, has a unique value known as isoma inside. Today, we'll immerse ourselves in Salento traditions, such as the Salento illuminations, and we'll do it uniquely using recycled materials. Additionally, we will give these materials a second life. To what is the olive tree, which for us Salento is something very important. They are our own roots. Today we are going to realize a particular luminaire. We will pay homage to what is the prickly pear that is true to be native to Central America, but now distributed throughout the Mediterranean, in particular in Puglia we will be. In Calabria, Sicily. What do we do now? We can start directly by drawing, for example, on the plywood that we want to make as a frame. We can make the prickly pear directly, or we can make what is called a template. That is, we first draw it above with the pen, then we cut it to have the possibility to repeat the same drawing several times. Or simply for a matter of accuracy, because we can use the template as a guide. Then to cut, we will use the jigsaw, the hand saw. It does not matter, because at the beginning it is not necessary to adopt yourself of materials or exceptional means. It is enough to begin and begin to have fun. Now with this template that we are going to realize immediately, let's see for a moment how we can carve the whole, and then 1, 2, 3, you can.
See, we got our line. You see, it's a stylized prickly pear.
Oh, okay. Do what's that?
We cut out, you see, this is the original outline, you see.
Simply?
Using a plastic carving package, nothing big, for a few euros is found for the mind and whatnot.
And a box cutter.
Then at the limit, if we want, we can define the edges with a little fine sandpaper, just to have a greater precision. No big deal.
Now,
let's transfer what is our design directly.
On this piece.
Cut, you see, like this, and then we will go with the electric jigsaw to get this.
Outline.
Where to place this. The lamps or the lamp. Let's see, let's mount one here in the center, or 3, let's see it together, possibly suggested.
Oh, you guys, since it is the cut of a fairly delicate detail, obviously you should start from the inside, this to have more support surfaces. Then for the cutting, because we use the tiny tunnel by hand, because it is a small surface. A bit of an azigurated carving, and therefore it is likely that with the jigsaw we would have made a bit of a disaster. So let's see for a moment if it comes out. It looks like it's cut. Look, let's see if we can see. Oh, for cut, he cut himself. Ah, no, a little piece is missing.
Observe it.
You see, there's a little piece here that still needs to be cut.
We should get it done immediately and properly.
I pull out, but you see, this is the beauty of the live broadcast. It's cut too soon. Here he is, finally. You see, the first piece is gone. Now it will obviously be a matter of cutting out the outline, and we will have our beautiful thread A shortly. Well guys, or zoomer inside, I always recommend when doing these activities, obviously, to protect yourself, Otherwise we risk getting hurt. And something fun. Back to us, we finished cutting the outside, you see, of the product using a jigsaw mounted upside down. If you notice here on the floor below. You see, this is a jigsaw mounted upside down on a plane dedicated to it. This is to ensure that you can use it freehand and therefore be able to follow. You see, the outline of the object is an alternative to what is the classic tunnel. Much better, of course, that we will see in the next videos. For now, try to experience this naturally, as you can see the particular details, intersections and so on. Don't mind me. But manual tunneling or precision electric tunneling suits you best. But even this classic hacksaw can help you. In several passes you will have experience with one or the other. And this instead we obtained by cutting it with the tunnel. This is the base you see here. This is the basis, we got it entirely. Look at Opla. Here are the pieces. We got it entirely with manual tunneling because obviously with all these peculiarities you see, the reverse mounted jigsaw, however good, beautiful and clever, would not have helped us in the slightest. Having done this, the surfaces appear rough, as was naturally the old system for making Salento lighting. Mesapiche, what you see here is all heated. I tell you in the Salento dialect because this will make you appreciate these works more. You will understand its meaning. You will appreciate its value, especially if you want to. You will want to come down here. You will want to come down to us to see them live. Then you will join that particular sound of these words that I told you to the perfume. It has the feeling of touching these objects and understanding why it has the right. Warm, okay, that is practically cracked, ruined by the cut and typical. You can leave it as it used to do then, or you can decide to revive them. With normal abrasive papers, and then I'm talking about higher level painting, this of course is left to the individual, to the craftsman, and the craftsman, do not forget, and the brain, heart, hands, do you. We have given what is called in jargon the primer, that is, a filling paint that serves to stabilize timber, prevent it from impregnating with water and ruining. From this moment on, we could already consider the work in finishing. We will then go to assemble the lamp holder. See? Characteristic of the 24 volt that will be beaten here with 2 nails. Then we will put its beautiful cap, and finally the 24 volt bulb in the color we prefer. If we wanted, we could also paint it with a white finish paint, for example, but we will see this in the next step. Let's get back to what we were saying before. We were talking about the finish. So the surface, the object we made, can be finished as it was done with the old lights. That is to say, simply with the base, or base plus paint. Is, let's say it's a more furnishing treatment now, this what you're seeing now. What do I mean if you look closely at the surface? There are signs of time. They were deliberately wanted. And we made them using a 220 sanding paper, then sanding the surfaces manually, or I recommend manually. What do you get? Scratches and imperfections, as if this object was exactly from the time, had experienced bad weather, and so on. Then of course there can be a class shot in the 4-0 straw. Steel wool 4-0. So by reviewing the surfaces you get this type of finish, and soon we will go to see instead the furniture one, so-called an almost lacquered finish. Don't miss the Salento, guys. Well guys, we're finally at final assembly. We even did 2 coats of painting, and now we have all the components you can see, from the nails to the lamp holder to the bulb to the waterproof protection, and obviously the real artifact, which is this. With 2 coats of white finish, we also found space for our logo. Look at that. Caruccio, right? And so it will now be a matter of taking the lamp holder that presents. You see 2 copper protrusions that will be appropriately crushed, because they will create contact with the wire that I show you. And this right here, this is the wire that's going to go into the first hole on your right. Pardon. The second hole on your right, because if you look from the inside, you will see that it goes in correspondence. You see it will go in correspondence with the lamella. So when you crush the lamella, automatically the wire will be affected and the contact will be created, while for the other contact will be the third wire from the right. Here it is, you will crush, this will block if. Will you make series of more bulbs then? Obviously the wire will have to be through to go to the other bulb. So when you squeeze it will create the contact, but it will remain the cable for the other bulb. You see these here and so forth, which may be 10, 15 that you need for your work. Whereas if you're going to need to make passages with multiple lamps, then connected in a particular way. If you want to make a neutral passage, you can do it from the first hole. This is a neutral passage. And from the last hole, these are all neutral passages. When crushing, the contacts are not affected. The wires are used for other situations, when, for example, you will make lighting. With any drivers, any pilots, so basically we have our product, we go and put the lamp holder here, we put the 2 nails and we assemble the whole thing. I would advise for a practical matter to do this way. Take the artifact, let your handsome boss pass. Live is always live. I drop the cable, let your boss pass. Where did you drill the access holes from? You see here access holes. You see you put access holes through. You drill the contact hole. You see this here. Then you crush it, you crush the contact hole, and you get the electrical connection, and then you bring the lamps here and put a couple of nails in them, which are typical here. They are small nails that you can easily find in hardware stores. I leave you a link, but for everything in hardware, while regarding the specific material, namely lamps, door, lamps, protections, and wire itself. I will put the link in the description of a Salento company that specializes in these things. Here you will find the impossible, even technical advice, and now ready to do it. So thread inside, we set the second hole, we let it pass just enough, and then we go crush here. Down you see, look at a little slanted table until you see, until it goes pretty much parallel. At that point it punctured the wire, it doesn't come away anymore, and that's the contact you need. So basically you see, this is the virgin contact and this is the one we just wired. Now let's move on to the other one. As you can see, this is the finished work. then mounted lamp holder, gasket, and about say 1.20 minutes of wire, and then go to torsionar to give it that typicality. You can put a switch at your discretion. This is the quick connection for a 12-volt power supply. I remind you that these bulbs work at 12 volts. The 1.20 M of wire is just indicative. Each creator decides for himself what to mount, and the same goes for the switch. Let us say that this is a general indication that is nothing more and nothing less. So let's go measure our 1/2 and 20 and cut it all off. We're finally here. So we assembled, and as you can see, holder lamps bulbs, appropriately twisted wire, as we had said. Well, Caruccio even so, let's say all in all, it's not bad. You will find the links and more at the end of the video. After the work, you want to see the result too. This is our colleague's work, you see? Very nice and natural. That's what we did together, you see? Not bad, is it? Congratulations to all of us for doing this, our work done together.
2025 ADAD Maiora made in Italy.